All right, training camp continues to roll on. The Lions are getting closer and closer to joint practices. That's the next thing we can look forward to. Before we get started in this video, I want to know your Detroit sports rankings. Lions, Pistons, Red Wings, Tigers. That's mine. Now, that's changed over the years, right? Kind of flip-flops. Pistons are doing well, Red Wings. But, I mean, right now, I think it's Lions, Pistons, Red Wings, Tigers. And baseball. Yeah, baseball is awesome there. You know, when we had Cabrera, Verlander running it, Joel Zamaya, life was good. But then this last 10 years of baseball or so has just been tough to watch. Red Wings, hockey's tough when you're not winning, but hockey, when we get going a little bit, man, love some playoff hockey. So let me know your rankings in the comments below. Now as we look at the Lions, there's one position that I've just had my eye on to see what happens in training camp. That's wide receiver, because I thought we were thin going into the Jameson Williams suspension. You got Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams, two great receivers. So it's like, oh, we're good at wide receiver. Yeah. Josh Reynolds is not anything super great. Marvin Jones is getting older. Khalif Raymond's more of a specialty guy. So we were thin as it was with Jameson Williams. So then we go get Denzel Mims. It's like, all right, maybe him. Then we draft a guy in Antoine Green. But there's another guy that I think could make the team as our last wide receiver. And it's Dylan Drummond, an undrafted free agent out of Eastern Michigan. So I need your help on this one. I mean, let me know if anybody out there that knows some stuff about him. I did some research on him. I'm going to share what he's doing in training camp. And it's like, oh my gosh, this would be a huge find. Now, it's not surprising that he's an undrafted free agent from Eastern Michigan. I say that just from geographically, that's kind of what NFL teams do. You find guys around your area to come try out. He makes the tryout, does rookie mini camp, kind of keeps hanging in there. And now here he is. So this article on MLive was talking about wide receiver and what we're looking at. So you've got kind of the mainstays: Josh Reynolds, Khalif Raymond, Marvin Jones should be good. And barring something, I wouldn't be shocked if one of these guys got cut. Josh Reynolds, but that's about it. But then after that, who's that last receiver, especially until Jameson Williams gets back? Is it Denzel Mims? Full of potential, didn't do anything with the Jets. Is it because the Jets stink, or does he stink? What's going on there? Antoine Green has had moments, but really haven't heard a ton from him. And then Dylan Drummond, I saw an article a couple days ago mentioned, Dylan Drummond standing out, making some plays. And now I see it again. He had one drop on Wednesday, but has caught almost everything else. It's amazing to see how often number 83 has the ball in his hands while working with the reserve units. So he's with the reserve units, but it'll be interesting to see what happens when joint practices begin. And you can bet he'll get a lot of run when we get into the preseason. So preseason, let me know on that too. I mean, preseason, you're always so excited for preseason games. And then about like 5 minutes into the first preseason game, I'm like, oh, can't take it. I don't know why. Am I the only one like that? Let me know in the comments if you like preseason games. But I like to see guys like this, right? This Dylan Drummond, Antoine Green, Denzel Mims, that second and third unit with wide receiver. Interested to see what happens there. Same with tight end. Now that we've got a couple injuries, be watching preseason pretty closely to see that. So at very least, expect him to see him on the practice squad at the very least. So Dylan Drummond. So I started looking him up. I'm like, all right, Dylan Drummond, what do we got in him? Like, seriously, not much. The guy's six. The guy is, I think, like 6'1", 280. Not overly big, not overly fast, not overly productive in college. But it's interesting when you go to a smaller, not very good football school that you could be good and nobody knows it. There's no production. You're not on TV at Eastern Michigan as much. Nobody knows who you are. And he could be a really good, solid player for us because, again, after a couple of guys, the wide receiver position really drops off, and would love to see him get into the mix a little bit. I mean, that'd be awesome. So next thing, though, I want to talk about the defense. The Lions have been rolling with Kirby Joseph and CJ Gardner-Johnson at safety, while Brian Branch has been more of the slot hybrid guy, and it's pushed Tracy Walker to the second team. I was curious to see what's going to happen at safety. Was Kirby Joseph a 1 year, oh, he's great, he's a rookie kind of fluky thing? Or is Kirby Joseph going to be what we think he's going to be? By the fact that he stayed on the first team and Tracy Walker got pushed to the second, that's interesting to me. But in the end, this can figure it's just might be best for the defense. Joseph led the Lions in interceptions last year, while Gardner Johnson led the whole league. And that level of ball hawking will be tough to take off the field. Totally agree. Now, and here's just how different our team has gotten. Tracy Walker was like our best defensive player. I mean, there was a time was like, oh, Tracy Walker, like I can't name like 3 good defensive players on our team. Tracy Walker was like one guy. Now, this is the difference. Tracy Walker is now your second string guy that'll come in, he'll play, he'll play, he'll give, if ever, Kirby Joseph, Gardner Johnson gets hurt, obviously he's right in there. That's the difference in really good teams versus Lions teams of the past. Tracy Walker is coming off the bench to help out. I mean, that's huge. And so moving Gardner Johnson to safety allows Branch to see the field. And with the way the second round pick is already trending, keeping Branch on the field seems like the smart thing to do. The kid is showing up in all the ways, from coverage to pass rush to run support. Remember, Brian Branch can cover and can tackle. That seems like, well, cool. That's good. Yeah, that's hard to find. Really love that. I got one more thing for you here. Before I move on, though, Brian Branch is going to be the difference maker. We keep talking about him. Craig and I have made a lot of videos about him because it's like, what? How did we get this guy? And I didn't even think we needed him because of all the stuff that we did in free agency. It's like, we're good. But you start looking at it, it's like, oh my gosh, he could be a hybrid. CJ Gardner can be a hybrid. Tracy Walker could be safety. Then they could hybrid out. Tracy Walker will definitely be in dime packages. We'll have 6 DBs on the field, and he'll be. I mean, it's just there's so many things you can do. Thanks to Brian Branch, CJ Gardner Johnson, and the rest of the secondary. So excited to see all of that. Last thing, let's take one more look here at Trinity Benson. That's the only thing Brad Holmes is kind of messed up on. Trinity Benson is going to get cut. He's gone. And I mean, unbelievable. Trinity Benson, get out of here. Okay. But Penei Sewell returned to practice. He was in concussion protocol. It's good to see him back because you never know on that. You really don't on the head injury stuff. So it's good to see Penei Sewell back. Emmanuel Moseley is going to be gone for probably half the season, I think. They're not really saying much about him. Doesn't sound good. Dan Campbell said setback types. He didn't say setback, but everything that he said indicated, okay, well, that's a setback then, right? I mean, but he wouldn't say it. So that's fine. We're good there. Moseley will come back second half of the season. We're going to need him to make a late run. We're going to need, Jameson Williams to play well. So let me know your thoughts in the comments on this, and excited for these joint practices coming up. Make sure you subscribe. And if you love football, love other teams as well, Craig and I have another channel called Sports Talk Extra. Take a look at that. We like covering teams like the Lions that don't get a lot of love. And we cover those teams on the other channel. Check that out. And we'll see all of you on the next one.